Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a Neuvillette Listener by me, so let's get into it. Neuvillette would never want you to hide something so serious from him, but it seems like there was somewhere that the two of you could just not meet. Perhaps you didn't communicate well enough, perhaps something went wrong, but he couldn't really just decide on what went so wrong to the point where you were unable to tell him why exactly you were unable to be honest about your pregnancy and decided to hide that from him. It hurt him, to be quite honest, but in the end, he actually decided to confront you about it. He found out by accident, really, but perhaps it was due to the new power growing within you. After all, having a baby with a dragon was something entirely different. And so, when you were pregnant, he could sense a new power growing within you, one that was not with you before, and he knew just what that meant. And after having read up on pregnancy, he actually figures out that he's right. It was that way, but you were just not telling him anything. But it matched. It made sense. With the way that you were craving things, the way that you always vomited in the morning and felt so nauseous that you couldn't even eat. He could tell, and you were hiding it, and he just didn't know how long it would keep going. But he knew it was not a good thing, and he didn't want this to continue. Leon, darling, may we speak for a while? There is something important I wish to speak to you about, he said. He didn't want to scare you by being a little bit too much. It was already a serious topic, and he didn't want to worry you more than he should. The thing is, he didn't know what to do, and he felt a little bit lost, so it was not an easy subject. Not at all. In fact, he felt rather worried. He doesn't want things to go wrong, and he hopes that he communicates everything in the way that he wants. He's not mad at you. He's simply upset and confused, and he seeks to understand. Leon, my apologies, but lately I've had a feeling that there is something that you want to tell me, and yet you've been hesitating. Please, if that is the case, then you may be as honest as you want. I urge you to tell me and be honest with me. That is all I seek, he says, and he sighs softly. Listen, it's not as simple as that. There is indeed something that I want to tell you, and it's really important, but I'm nervous. And wait, you're asking this, so do you know anything, Neuvillette? And be honest with me. You say, your hands trembling a little bit, and he nods, looking away. I found out by accident at first. I was a little bit worried about this. Initially, I had a few guesses, but now I do think that you may be pregnant, Ryan. And you may know that, and yet you are not telling me. So why is that? He says, and you can tell he's tired by your actions, and you look away, upset by the hurt that you've caused him. It really wasn't to upset you, Neuvillette. I just didn't want to tell you because I was anxious. I wasn't sure when to tell you, or how to approach it in the first place. I felt overwhelmed. It all felt a little bit too much, and I was confused on what to say or how to even say it. I didn't know what to do, and I didn't even know whether he wanted this or not. And so, I knew that there was always a possibility that you wouldn't want this. And I was terrified that it could happen. That maybe you wouldn't want to be with me and want our child. I was scared, that's all. You told him, and he softens, wrapping his arms around you. Then I'm sorry you felt alone. That was never my intention. I would never want you to feel that way. It's truly cruel, Wayan, and I would never want to do that to you. I hope you know this. I do, Neuvillette. I do. I know you'd never want to hurt me or do anything to make me upset. It's not your fault that I just started to think like that. I was just being me, I guess. And I had those bad thoughts in my head that I couldn't get rid of. But I promise I know that you would never want to hurt me. Or make me hide something as significant as this. I'm sorry you had to find out in that way. It's fine. We talked about it now, and everything's fine. And I suppose you learned from it, didn't you? That I would never leave you alone no matter what. So there's nothing for you to worry about. He says, looking into your eyes, and you can't help but smile as he holds you close. You know how sincere he is, and how much he loves you. And you love him just as much, because he means the world to you. He truly does. He matters to you so much. And you know that no matter what happens in the world, he will always be by your side, just as you intend to stay by his. You never want to leave him alone, and to leave him feeling confused or hurt. And now that the truth has come to light, that you can focus on the future of this child coming on the way. You could focus on how you're going to parent this child, how this whole thing's going to go. It was an uncharted territory, and it was terrifying, but in an absolutely delightful way. And Neuvillette was more than happy and cheerful about it, and you could certainly tell from his face and the way he was acting overall. And right now, as he left soft kisses on your cheeks and held you close to him, you knew he was about to swallow you for the night. But you wanted that, more than anything in the world. And you felt like a whole weight has been lifted off from your shoulders, now that there's nothing to hide or anything between you two.